The darkness of space concealed the massive research vessel as it drifted silently near the outer edges of the Epsilon colony. Massive energy shields pulsed with a soft blue light, masking its true intentions. Inside the ship, alien researchers moved with calculated precision, their tentacled appendages carefully manipulating complex monitoring equipment. J. Park stood at the communication console of Outpost Epsilon, his hands trembling slightly as he reviewed the strange data patterns. Something was wrong. Colonists had been disappearing for weeks, leaving behind only abandoned living quarters and half-finished workstations. The colony housed 15,000 human settlers, scientists, miners, and their families, who had traveled light years from Earth to build a new home. Now they were vanishing without a trace. No distress signals, no evidence of attack, just complete unsettling silence. Captain Park zoomed into the colony's surveillance footage. Another anomaly caught his eye. Shadows moved between habitat modules. Not human shadows. Not anything he recognized. The thermal imaging showed strange, energy signatures that didn't match any known alien technology. His communication officer, Lisa Rodriguez, burst into the control room. "Sir, we've lost contact with Residential Sector 7. That's another 287 people gone." Park's jaw clenched. 287 more humans disappeared into the cosmic void. Deep within the research vessel, alien scientists examined their latest specimens. Humans were fascinating creatures. Adaptable, resilient, with complex neurological systems that fascinated the research team. They didn't see humans as sentient beings. To them, humans were nothing more than experimental subjects. Dr. Krell, the lead researcher, examined a young human female strapped to an examination table. Her eyes were filled with terror, but she remained silent. Advanced sedation protocols kept her partially conscious but unable to resist. "Remarkable muscular structure," Krell mumbled, his translator device converting his native language into clinical English. "The neural pathways are significantly more complex than our initial studies suggested." Another researcher, Vex, checked the monitoring systems. "Subject shows high stress responses. Recommend reducing stimulation to prevent potential neural degradation. Outside, more human colonies would soon be targeted." The research vessel was just one of many. A systematic, calculated process of human collection had begun. Back at Outpost Epsilon, Park realized they were dealing with something unprecedented. These weren't random disappearances. This was a carefully orchestrated abduction strategy. He transmitted an encrypted message to Earth Central Command. "Multiple human settlements compromised. Recommend immediate investigation and potential military intervention." The message would take 3 days to reach Earth, 3 days during which more humans could vanish. In the research vessel's lower decks, hundreds of human subjects were stored in specialized containment units. Some were awake. Some were sedated. Some were being actively studied. Each represented a story of loss, of families torn apart, of a future suddenly erased. Park knew he needed more than just communication. He needed proof. Evidence that would force Earth's leadership to take immediate action. His team began compiling data, tracking energy signatures, analyzing communication disruptions, building a complex map of these mysterious disappearances. What they didn't know was how deep this conspiracy went. How many alien civilizations were involved? What ultimate purpose these abductions served? The colony continued its eerie silence. Abandoned workstations, empty living quarters, personal belongings left as if their owners had simply evaporated. J. Park stared out the viewport, watching the endless starscape. Something fundamental was changing. Humanity was no longer just exploring the universe. Now they were being hunted. Little did the alien researchers know humans were not going to remain passive victims. Every abduction, every stolen life, they would be remembered. They would be avenged. The first chapter of humanity's most significant conflict was about to begin. Not with a massive battle, not with an immediate declaration of war, but with a simple, fundamental understanding. They were coming for their people, and nothing would stop them. As the research vessel drifted silently, carrying its human cargo, it had no idea of the storm that was brewing, a storm that would reshape galactic politics forever. J. Park continued his meticulous documentation. Every piece of data, every fragment of evidence, would become a weapon. The universe was about to learn something important about humans. They don't forget, they don't forgive, and they always fight back. The news of mass human abductions spread like wildfire across Earth's communication networks. In government buildings, military command centers, and research facilities, a single emotion transformed into collective determination: rage. Admiral Seok Kim stood before the Global Defense Council, his weathered hands gripping a holographic projection of the known alien research routes. Years of military strategy crystallized into one clear objective: a complete and total response to the alien threat. "We are not victims," he declared, his voice cutting through the tense meeting room. "We are hunters now." Within 72 hours, Earth's entire industrial complex transformed. Shipyards that once produced commercial space transports now churned out warships. Every available resource was redirected: computer scientists, aerospace engineers, weapon designers, all worked with a singular purpose. Dr. Hyun Lee, a brilliant quantum computing expert, developed an advanced AI system capable of analyzing alien communication patterns and technological signatures. Her team worked around the clock, consuming massive amounts of coffee and energy drinks, their fingers flying across holographic interfaces. The military's research divisions discovered something crucial. The alien research vessels weren't just random kidnappers. They belonged to a sophisticated galactic network with complex technological capabilities. Prototype weapons emerged from secret laboratories, quantum disruptors that could slice through advanced energy shields, adaptive electromagnetic pulse generators, stealth systems that could render entire warships invisible to conventional tracking methods. Manufacturing plants worked in continuous shifts that never stopped. Workers understood the stakes. Their brothers, sisters, children, and friends were being stolen. Every weapon produced was a potential rescue mechanism. Satellite networks were repurposed. Communication systems were upgraded. Every piece of technology humanity possessed was reverse engineered to create a comprehensive defense strategy. The Reclamation Protocol wasn't just a military plan. It was a promise, a commitment that no human would be left behind. No human would be treated as a mere research specimen. Military recruitment centers saw unprecedented enrollment. Young men and women who had previously pursued peaceful careers now trained rigorously. They learned advanced combat techniques, quantum navigation, and alien technological countermeasures. Space academies accelerated training programs. What once took 4 years was compressed into months. Every potential soldier, pilot, and strategist was fast-tracked. Psychological warfare experts analyzed alien communication patterns. They discovered weaknesses in the aliens' communication networks, vulnerabilities that could be exploited. Advanced simulation centers ran thousands of potential conflict scenarios. Each simulation provided insights into potential alien defensive and offensive strategies. Quantum computers processed data at unprecedented speeds. They predicted potential alien movement patterns, potential attack routes, and strategic intervention points. The global economy shifted. Countries that were previously competitors now collaborated. National boundaries became meaningless in the face of this extraterrestrial threat. Funding was unlimited. Governments approved massive budgets. Private corporations donated resources. The entire human civilization was mobilizing. Intelligence agencies worked together, sharing information in real time. Classified barriers dissolved. The mission was clear: understand the enemy, track their movements, prepare a comprehensive response. Military satellites tracked every known alien research vessel. Each movement was analyzed, documented, and potential counter-strategies were developed. Specialized teams were formed. Some focused on rescue operations, others on direct military confrontation. Some developed diplomatic strategies to expose the aliens' unethical research practices. Dr. Lee's AI system made a breakthrough. It discovered communication patterns that revealed the alien research network's inner workings. Weak points were identified. Potential intervention strategies were mapped. Admiral Kim reviewed the developing plans. His eyes reflected a mixture of strategic calculation and personal pain. He had lost relatives in previous unexplained space incidents. "We are not just defending ourselves," he told his top commanders. "We are sending a message to the entire galaxy. Humans are not specimens, we are not research subjects, we are a force to be reckoned with." The preparation was meticulous. The response would be overwhelming. Humanity was transforming from an exploratory species to a focused, determined military civilization. The aliens had made a fundamental mistake. They thought humans were weak, passive, easily controlled. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The stealth warship Defiance moved silently through the dark expanse of space. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, his eyes locked on the holographic display showing multiple alien research stations. His team had spent months planning this exact moment. Quantum fold drives hummed softly. Advanced cloaking technology made the ship invisible to conventional tracking systems. Years of human technological development were about to be tested in the most critical mission of the century. "Target acquisition confirmed," the weapons officer whispered. Her fingers danced across complex control panels preparing precision strike systems. The first research station appeared, a massive structure floating near a distant nebula. Thousands of human captives were held inside. Preliminary scans showed horrific experimental chambers, each containing living human subjects. Park's voice was calm but intense. "Execute Operation Phantom Strike." Simultaneously, 3 warships emerged from quantum fold spaces. Electromagnetic pulse weapons fired with surgical precision. Alien communication arrays went dark in milliseconds. Defense systems collapsed before they could even activate. Boarding teams moved with incredible speed. Specialized combat units wearing advanced exo-armor breached the station's outer hull. Laser cutters sliced through security doors like paper. Inside the research station, chaos erupted. Alien researchers scrambled, realizing too late that their hunting grounds had become a battlefield. Dr. Hyun Lee's AI systems guided every movement. Predictive algorithms calculated optimal rescue paths. Each human captive's location was precisely mapped and transmitted to rescue teams. The first human rescue team found a chamber filled with sedated colonists, young men and women strapped to examination tables, their bodies showing signs of invasive medical procedures. Rescue protocols activated instantly. "We're getting you home," a team leader said, cutting restraints with practiced efficiency. Weapons fire erupted in secondary corridors. Human special forces moved with unprecedented tactical precision. Alien security forces found themselves completely outmatched. 347 humans were rescued in the first hour. Each rescue was a personal victory. Each freed captive a statement to the galaxy. Park watched the operation unfold. This was more than a military strike. This was humanity declaring its sovereignty. Alien communication networks went into complete panic. Their research stations, once considered impenetrable, had been systematically dismantled in hours. Quantum communication systems transmitted the mission's success back to Earth. Millions watched live feeds, seeing humanity strike back against years of silent oppression. The Defiance's medical teams began immediate treatment for rescued humans. Psychological evaluation protocols were activated. Each rescued individual would receive comprehensive care. Alien leadership received the first clear message. Humanity was not a passive species to be studied. They were a force capable of precise, overwhelming response. Secondary strike teams began collecting critical research data. Every piece of alien technology would be studied. Every research document would be analyzed. Park knew this was just the beginning. One research station among many. But it was a powerful first statement. Mission objective completed, the tactical officer reported. The rescued humans looked different from typical victims. Their eyes showed not just relief but a burning determination. They had survived the worst. Now they wanted justice. Quantum fold drives activated. The warships disappeared as quickly as they had arrived. No trace remained except disabled research equipment and liberated human captives. Earth's military command received the first reports. Admiral Seok Kim allowed himself a small smile. The first strike had been perfect. The galaxy would never view humans the same way again. Alien research networks went into emergency protocols. Their carefully constructed system of human collection had been shattered in a single, devastating operation. J. Park knew this was just the beginning of a much larger conflict. But for now, they had sent a clear message. Humans were not prey. They were predators, and they had just declared war. The news of humanity's first strike spread like wildfire across multiple star systems. Oppressed species watched with a mixture of hope and disbelief. Humans had done what no one else dared: challenged the Galactic Research Network. Dr. Hyun Lee's intelligence team worked tirelessly, decoding complex alien communication networks. Each intercepted message revealed a terrifying truth. The research network had been exploiting numerous sentient species for centuries. Captain J. Park received reports from newly formed alien resistance groups. Species that had been silent for generations now began sharing their stories of oppression. Reptilian races from the Quran cluster, silicon-based life forms from the Gamma Quadrant. Each had been victims of systematic research and exploitation. The Galactic Empire's response was swift and brutal. They attempted to isolate human-controlled space, launching punitive expeditions against Earth's colonies. But each attack was met with increasingly sophisticated human defense systems. Admiral Seok Kim had prepared for this moment. Quantum communication networks allowed instantaneous coordination between human fleets. Every alien attack was anticipated, countered, and turned into a strategic opportunity. Rescued human captives became the most powerful weapon. Their testimony exposed the true nature of the alien research network. Detailed medical records, personal accounts, and scientific documentation became ammunition in a broader galactic conflict. Some alien races began providing critical intelligence. Star maps showing research station locations, communication encryption codes, technological vulnerabilities in the Galactic Research Network. The conflict transformed from a human rescue mission to a full-scale galactic uprising. Species that had been silent for generations found their voice through humanity's unexpected resistance. Diplomatic channels exploded with activity. United Nations of Earth representatives presented comprehensive evidence of systematic xenobiological crimes. The galactic community could no longer ignore the truth. Human technology proved to be the game-changer. Adaptive AI systems could predict alien strategies faster than their own command structures. Quantum computing turned complex military operations into predictable mathematical equations. Research stations that once seemed impenetrable began falling one by one. Each successful mission inspired more resistance, more hope. The Galactic Empire's leadership realized they had made a critical mistake. Humans were not just another research specimen. They were a revolutionary force. Specialized human intelligence. Teams began connecting with resistance movements across multiple star systems. Communication networks expanded. Information became the most powerful weapon. Psychological warfare played a crucial role. Humans broadcast detailed accounts of research station atrocities. Each transmission weakened the alien research network's moral standing. Military academies on Earth saw unprecedented enrollment. Young people from every background volunteered. The conflict was no longer just a military operation. It was a species-wide mission. Technological innovation accelerated. Weapons became more precise. Communication systems more sophisticated. Each human victory proved their adaptive capabilities. The rescued humans became symbols of resistance. They shared their stories, testified in galactic tribunals, provided critical medical and psychological evidence. Alien resistance groups began coordinating their efforts. Human strategic experts helped design comprehensive liberation strategies. What was once impossible now seemed achievable. Economic systems shifted. Galactic trade routes became battlegrounds of information and resistance. The research network's economic model began to collapse. Dr. Lee's AI systems mapped complex resistance networks. Each connection, each shared piece of intelligence became a weapon more powerful than any physical weapon. Park understood this was more than a military conflict. This was a fundamental challenge to galactic power structures. Humans were rewriting the rules of interstellar engagement. The Galactic Empire found itself fighting on multiple fronts. Their research network, once considered invincible, was systematically dismantled. Resistance grew. Hope spread. The universe watched as humans led a revolution none had expected. The message was clear. No species would be treated as a research specimen again. Humanity had started something bigger than a rescue mission. They had started a galactic transformation. The final battle wasn't a traditional conflict. It was a systematic dismantling of an entire galactic infrastructure that had operated in darkness for centuries. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching holographic displays showing multiple simultaneous operations. Quantum. Computing had transformed warfare into a precise mathematical equation. Alien research networks collapsed faster than anyone predicted. Human technology, developed through years of secret research, proved overwhelmingly superior. Each strike was calculated, each movement predetermined by advanced AI systems. The Galactic Empire's leadership realized too late that they had underestimated humanity. What began as a simple research collection program had become their ultimate destruction. President Wu Li addressed the United Galactic Council. His speech was calm, precise, devastating. Decades of documented research crimes were presented. Holographic evidence showed systematic exploitation of sentient species. "We are not seeking revenge," Li stated. "We are seeking justice." Specialized human teams moved through research facilities, not as conquerors, but as liberators. Thousands of captive species were rescued. Medical teams provided immediate care. Psychological support teams helped survivors process generations of trauma. Admiral Seok Kim's military strategy proved revolutionary. Instead of total destruction, they systematically disabled communication networks, research facilities, and technological infrastructure. Dr. Hyun Lee's AI systems predicted and neutralized every potential counter-strategy. The alien leadership found themselves fighting an enemy that could anticipate their moves before they made them. The tribunal began in neutral space. Representatives from over 47 different species gathered. Humans led the proceedings, but did not dominate them. They provided a platform for voices that had been silenced for generations. Research leaders were put on trial. Their crimes documented in excruciating detail. Quantum recording systems captured every moment. Nothing would be forgotten. Nothing would be hidden. Rescued humans became key witnesses. Their testimony revealed not just individual suffering, but a systematic program of xenobiological exploitation. Military operations continued, but they were precise. Each strike targeted specific research infrastructure. Civilian populations were protected. The goal was systemic change, not total destruction. Economic systems that supported the research network began to collapse. Trade routes were redesigned. New diplomatic relationships emerged from the conflict's aftermath. Technological exchanges began. Species that had been enemies now shared knowledge. Humanity became a bridge between previously isolated civilizations. The Defiance moved through space, no longer a warship, but a symbol of resistance. Its quantum drives represented more than military technology. They represented hope. Park understood this was more than a military victory. This was a fundamental restructuring of galactic power dynamics. Rehabilitation centers were established, not just for human survivors, but for all species that had been victims of research exploitation. Psychological support, medical treatment, educational programs. The United Earth government established a new diplomatic framework. No species would be treated as research specimens again. Strict protocols were implemented. Comprehensive monitoring systems created. Alien leadership found themselves facing unprecedented accountability. Their research networks, once considered untouchable, were systematically dismantled. Dr. Lee's AI systems continued monitoring, ensuring that the progress made would not be reversed. Technology became a guardian of galactic ethics. The final resolution was not about punishment. It was about prevention, about creating a framework where such systematic exploitation could never happen again. Humans had entered the conflict as victims. They emerged as liberators. The galaxy would never be the same. J. Park looked out into the endless starscape. The mission was complete. But the real work was just beginning. Humanity had changed the rules of galactic engagement, not through pure military might, but through technological innovation, ethical determination, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Stars seemed to shine a little brighter. A new era had begun,